Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Random Jumpsuit and today is January 29th, 2015 and I have for you guys Sideshow, which is another one of the new maps on the Havoc DLC. And I decided that for this go around I was just going to scrap my last video that I made on this map with using the IMR, and I was going to go for something completely different. I've decided it's time for a change. I've been playing with the IMR for a little while now, so I'm going to try something different. So a while back, I got the AK12 R.I.P in a supply drop a long time ago, and I never really made a lot of use of it, but this gun is actually a really good gun. It is super accurate, and it has, I believe, an 11 accuracy. I'll have to go back and check, and I'm probably going to put up a video of comparing the finger trap, the AK12 finger trap, and the AK12 R.I.P. Those are the two elite variations of the gun, and I happen to have both. So I'll probably go put up a gameplay video, or not a gameplay video, but rather a video in the shooting range and showing the accuracy and all that stuff. But this gun is fairly accurate. I tested it in the firing range, and it shoots just a whole round straight into the chest, and it's a really tight spread. So it's probably one of the better guns in this game in my opinion so far. But yeah, so this is Sideshow. It's a map that's a motel, basically, and it has a clown theme. As you can see, all the different clowns. There's a clown on that little water tower there, and there's a lot of places in this map to snipe. As you can see, that guy's sniping at me. Those little huts or houses, parts of the motel that you see, has a sign that's super easy to hide under, and that garage there that you just saw has a little sign that's super easy to hide behind. And so this map is really good for sniping, and if you enjoy sniping, then this is probably the map for you. I've gotten sniped quite a bit on this map, actually. I need to figure out how to better face off on with a sniper, because I just tend to stand there, and they reload super quick, and it's crazy how quick they reload. But yeah, so as you just saw, I popped off two exo abilities, and for this loadout, for my AK loadouts, for both of them, my finger trap and the R.I.P., I've decided to go completely different. So I've decided to, instead of getting a pistol in my secondary, I decided to use the Overkill Wildcard and take a primary weapon in my secondary slot. And so the primary weapon that I chose was the elite version of the MP11 called the Squeaker. It has a really high fire rate, but it has a really, really high recoil and a really high view kick. And so it's just insane. It has a high mobility though, so if you can get in and shoot from the hip, you'll probably win that battle. And I actually pull it out at some point in this gameplay that you'll see later. But yeah, so I've decided to do a Overkill Wildcard, use the MP11 Squeaker. I've also decided to go with two exosuits, and so the way you do that, if you aren't familiar with using two exo abilities, you have to get the Tactician Wildcard, and that's unlocked. I can't remember what level it's unlocked at, but you have to get that card, and once you get that card, put it in, and then you can, instead of getting a grenade, you get a secondary exosuit ability. And I chose to go with Cloak and Stim. Stim gives you a temporary boost in your health, and when I say temporary, I mean temporary. That could be remedied by using the perk that allows you to, I think it's called Overcharged, I believe is what it's called, and it allows your exo abilities to be lasting longer, essentially. And I used to use it. I didn't really find it very useful for the cloak because the cloaking lasts a decent amount of time anyway, but it's probably really useful for the stim. So yeah, I'm using two exosuits, as I said. I've decided I really only like the UAV. I've tried doing the turret, and it's cool and all, but unless you increase it and add 200 score streak points to it to make it a sentry, in my opinion, it's not really worth it. And you also, if you don't add an extra 100 score streak points to make it rotate 360, it's also not worth it in my opinion. But that's just me in my gameplay. I'm sure it's different for everyone. I just don't use it. I don't like it all that much. And not having it in allows me to use my perks elsewhere. So I could, with taking it out, I was able to get my secondary exo ability, which is actually really neat. So yeah, if y'all did know that y'all could do that, again, I didn't complete my thought earlier, but if you didn't know you could do that, the way you do that is, like I said, you use Tactician, and when you go in, your left one, as you can see, my leftmost exo suit is the cloak. That one is triggered by left bumper on the Xbox controller, and the stem is the right bumper. And so that's how you execute them. It's not like you can only use one and then you can use the other. You can use them both at the same time, which is really neat. Let's see, what else did I change? Oh yeah, I decided to add blast suppressor, and basically what that does is it suppresses your exo movements on the heads-up display. So it basically makes it to where if they look at their HUD, they cannot see where your exosuit was and better gauge where you will be. And they have to rely solely on your footsteps and just hearing your exosuit, which can be difficult at times. Footsteps are probably the better indication of where the person actually is, instead of the exosuit, because you don't see the exo movements of your teammates, and so when you hear an exosuit, you tend to just think it's your teammate instead of the opponent, right? So when you have that blast suppressor, you kind of get that edge on them, in that maybe they'll think that hearing that is just their teammate. Now, if they look up at their HUD and they don't see a blue indicator that that's their teammate, then they'll know something's up. But that's assuming at that moment they look at their heads-up display. But yeah, so I've decided to add those things, and it's really fun and really neat, and I'm kind of enjoying just going in and kamikazing the hell out of this. It's interesting change, and yeah, here's where I pull out the squeaker, I believe. Yeah, that's the squeaker right there. It's crazy fire rate and crazy mobility. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, so if you haven't gotten the DLC yet and you're looking to get the DLC, I would highly recommend it. It's really fun, and thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.